Okay, good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for coming. Sheena Kantar, if you've not met me before, I run my business under the name of Kantar Gold, and I'm a direct descendant to Bob Proctor. So if you do not know who Bob Proctor is, you want to go and you check him out, go and watch The Secret, and you'll find out so much more information there about Bob. And basically, he is just the guru of human potential, and what he doesn't know isn't worth knowing, really. So that's where this information has come from. It has certainly changed my life, and I'm hoping that this information, if I impart it to you, that you don't just listen to it and go, oh yeah, I get that. You need to apply this information every single day. It's only in the application of this information and by listening to it every day that you can actually start to change some habits. So whenever people come on these things, they're always afraid that, oh, I'm going to be asked to buy something. Well, I tell you, I'm not going to sell anything. I'm going to share some information with you. You do with it what you want, okay? So I'm just going to crack on, working like this with Bob and helping people as much as I can. But I can only help the people who swim towards me. Everybody else, I'm just going to tell you the information and you do with it what you want. I want to let you know, though, that I have a fantastic offer at the end of this webinar. So the Bob Proctor program is actually £6,000 for 6 months, which is 60 years worth of Bob's evidence. And that's all I'm going to tell you. And what I'm doing is imparting some of this information for you so that you can take it on board. And like I say, if you, even the bits of information that you get here, you do something with it, you can change your life. The other thing that I will send at the end of this will be an article on decision making, because that is one thing that I really find that people don't do. We don't know how to make decisions. And I heard a statement today that somebody said to me, well, yeah, I'm not very good at making decisions. And I go, oh, really? When did you decide that? Okay, we're always making decisions. You make a decision to turn up to this webinar. You make a decision not to turn up to this webinar. Yeah, you make a decision, I can't be bothered. You make a decision, this doesn't matter. These decisions don't just go into the background of your life, they go into the future of your life. And say I asked you at the end of this program, at the end of this webinar to go, buy the program, and you can come up with excuses all you want, but here's the thing, you either make excuses or you make money and you change your life and change the lives of other people as well, or change whatever it is, make, a beautiful home for your family. Whatever it is that you want to do, or you can make excuses. And a lot of people make time and money. You're making a decision. If time is an excuse, you're making a decision. I know people who have got 5 children and who are at the top of their business in a network marketing company that I'm part of. And, they have no more time than anybody else. They just choose what they do. They, instead of taking an hour to do something, they'll do it in 5 minutes. Instead of taking all day to do something, they will do it in 1 hour. Okay, it's all decisions about whether you choose to scroll through Facebook for an hour, watch television for an hour, or come on this webinar for an hour, a webinar that could actually change your life. The other thing is that people then make the excuse of money. Money is not an excuse either. Here's the thing, is that whenever there was one point 18 months ago where I just literally lost everything, absolutely everything, because everything just stopped. And that's why I did the Bob Proctor program, because I needed to understand me and what was going on. I had every qualification under the sun. I was working harder than I ever could, and I actually just ended up with literally nothing. And there was one point, though, I play polo, and we had to pay for some polo lessons and polo to use the polo ponies, etc., etc. Do you know what? I couldn't pay a bill, but I played polo. So you can always get money to do whatever it is. So just bear that in mind whenever you're making an excuse about whether you should do something further on with Bob Proctor and myself, or whether you don't, because either way is absolutely fine with me. So buckle in, we're going to get straight on to it now. I will finish this at 8:30 because I have another call to do. So the first thing I want to say is to remember that every moment counts. Every single second you are recreating yourself. You have 50,000 new cells of recognition being created every single second. So every moment of your life counts. What are you doing during a day? How long do you spend in complaining mode or gratitude mode? Like, is it an 80-20 thing? Because seriously, if you do gratitude in the morning and gratitude at nighttime, but 80% of your day is filled with complaining, you're going to get more stuff to complain about. Because your little cells of recognition will just go, oh, she loves complaining. Well, I'll just get more of this. I'll just get more of this. I mean, that was the one thing when I figured that out, that was the big game changer for me, was just to stop complaining, stop looking at other people and stop thinking negative thoughts, even though I'm a strength consultant as well with Gallup, and I talk the talk, but in my head, something different was going on and I didn't even hear it until I started to do the Bob Proctor work. So every 11 months, you will recreate your whole body. So you can change if you choose to. If you make the decision to do the work every single day, you can actually change everything. So here's the thing, results always tell the truth. If you have a result in the area of your life, whether it's relationship, whether it's money, your job, promotion, children, whatever it is, the results always tell the truth. If it's something you do not like, you need to look inside yourself. But what do? We mess around in the outside world. If there's another thing that you can write this down, if you've not got a pen and piece of paper, just write all this stuff down or listen to this webinar again, because there's cause and effect. Okay, you are the cause of everything that happens in your life. Everything outside you is an effect. Now, it's like, if you want to change messing around in effects, it's like trying to change the mirror. The look that you have in the mirror without changing yourself. Like, you can't do that, can you? To change the look in the mirror, you're going to have to change yourself here. Well, that's exactly the way life is. And if you can do that and make sure that you come back to center, come back to you and go, why did I get that result? Instead of blaming the outside world, you look into yourself and you go, what happened? What was it that I was doing? So here's the thing, is that we cannot escape a prison unless we know we're in one. Now, what we have is, paradigms that hold us in place. And paradigm is a mental program that is almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And almost all of our behavior is habitual, and we don't even notice it. So we go round and round in circles. So this is going to be quite a key thing for me to show you tonight, why you go round in circles. And if you can get yourself just to, first of all, be aware that you're going round in circles, totally game changer. But again, because you're in a habit of thinking in a certain way, to change, like it's like whenever you started to drive a car, it was all clunky, but now you can just get in a car and you can just drive it. Whenever I learned to type, I had to do like 2 letters at a time, 4 letters at a time, and then all of a sudden I can use the whole keyboard. I can even tell you what it is. It's just so ingrained in me to be able to type. I don't even know where the letters are on the keyboard. So you have habitual behavior. Now, just to describe how deep it can go, so say, like, do you know your great grandfather or grandmother? The chances are you don't, but you bet you have their nose on your face. We have cell memory. So whenever we've got that cell memory going on, how deep does that go? We have got conditioning that has come down the line from generations to the conditioning we got from our parents, even when we were in the womb of our mother, how she said things, how she felt about things. You had every single vibration programmed into your body. Okay, and so it's not their fault, parents' fault, because they did the best that they could do, just like we're doing the best that we can do here right now. And so we just literally come, sorry, just keep getting messages on here, I'll have to stop those. So we literally come through and then we get programmed, we program ourselves through our reactions to certain things that literally happen in life. And so we don't even know why we do things, we just do them. And unless you become aware of them and then you try to change them, nothing ever is going to happen that's different. And you'll look back in your life in 10 years and go, oh my God, have I grown? It's, yeah, there was something else. I'll move on for this. So this is what happens, your paradigm, collection of habits, collection of thoughts. And, you as an infant, you had all this stuff coming in. You had other people, you had TVs, newspapers, radio, directly going into your subconscious mind. Absolutely directly, because you didn't really have a conscious thought. You weren't aware that you were a baby. You're just reacting, and it's all subconscious. So it's literally been programmed. But here's the thing. It happens to you today as well. Because if you've got the radio on in the background, like my mum used to listen to, what do you call him? One of those reality programs, and Jeremy Kyle, and he's literally there. And I said, why have you got this on? It's just negativity. And she just goes, actually, I'm not listening to it. but she is listening to it. In fact, it's even more programming her because she's not consciously aware, which means it's going directly into her subconscious. All those arguments, all those things that people say, it is just literally programming. I mean, that's what it's called a program for, because we are actually being programmed. So what are you listening to that gives you that program? You know, school gives us valuable knowledge, but it doesn't actually teach us what to do with the knowledge. So we get the knowledge and we pass a test. Now, here's the thing that I realize is that 2% of what we do is literally our conscious mind. And so we're getting all this information in our conscious mind. But actually 98% of what we do is ruled by our paradigm, which is our subconscious, which is our habitual behavior. We're not even aware of it most of the time. I mean, it really did become frightening the more I studied myself through the Bob Proctor material, that actually stuff was coming out and I thought, oh my God, I didn't even know I thought like that. It really was quite the insight really as to what happened. So one of the things that we teach is that you literally there's 7 laws of the universe. You know, you will find information that goes 11 laws, 12 laws, but they're adding in secondary laws and adding them up. And so it's like the law of gravity. Like, you know, in school, you know, you're taught about the law of gravity, but not really how it works. So, but you know to pay attention to it. So if I was to jump out this window right here, right now, I'm going to hurt myself because I'm upstairs. So we know to pay attention, we know to respect it, but there's 7 laws of the universe that we're not respecting because we don't know about them. And that's what we take you through, is literally all these. It's about respecting. So you can go and do your own due diligence and go and do your own research on this. There's nothing here that's hidden. There's nothing here that's special. What's special about the program is how it's actually run, not about the information that's inside it. The 2 things that I'm really going to talk to you about today will be the law of vibration and the law of polarity, because if you understand this, is that, you know, you will really understand everything. So the law of vibration is basically that we're all energy beings. Now, this has come from theology, and this has also come from science, and this is not woo-woo. We are energy beings. You know, there is no matter. This isn't solid. If we actually get a microscope and have a look at all the cells that are on here, they're all, you know, they thought the atom was literally the smallest, but then it goes down even further, and they realize it's just energy. We are actually just energy, and we're all vibrating in a certain way. There's a lovely video that you can go and watch, and it's about, you know, whenever somebody was speaking to water, and when we spoke to it with love, how it crystallized into beautiful snowflakes, and when you give it heat, how it was a horrible pattern. Well, we are like 70-80% water. So how are you talking to yourself, and what is that vibration that you're giving? Is it a love vibration, or is it a complaining vibration? Because that's what you're sending out into the universe, and it has an equal and opposite reaction. They call it the law of attraction, which is secondary to the law of vibration. But basically, what you give out is what you get back. Like, people call that karma. But here's the thing, karma works against us as much as it works for us. Okay, so if you give good out, you get good back. It's as simple as that. Then you have the law of polarity, and it's basically, there's a right and a left, there's an up and a down, there's an inside, there's an outside, and we have this, so where there's a negative bank balance, there is a positive bank balance, but we focus here on the negative. If we're in a bad relationship, we focus about the bad things about the person, and we miss all the good things about the person. When you can really truly understand that about the law of polarity, that the opposite does exist by law, you need to look for what is good, not for what is bad. And there's a real good bit in the middle where everything just is, and that's where the balance is, and that's what we're really looking for, the absolute balance. Now, here's the thing, Bob Proctor said, is that spirit always manifests from its polar opposite. We generally have the negative before the positive will appear, because it creates a void, and nature does not like a void and has to fill it in. But if you're continually looking here, then there is no void. But if you look up here and you go, there's the void, the universe has to fill it in. Trust me, it really does have to fill it in. So I'm literally going to move on a few slides to get the information out here that I want to get out. So one of the things, you're moving on to one of the lessons that we do, It's all about how we think and how we get stuck in a circle. But before I do that, is that, you know, Einstein said that imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Okay, so what did he mean by that? Because I certainly had enough knowledge, but yeah, actually I lacked a bit of imagination. I lacked a bit of desires, you know, like, where am I going? I was just like, oh, it'll work out, it'll work out. We've got to know where we're going, but here's the thing, we've got to have an image of where we're going. We've got to have an image of what we do. And I love the saying that I heard today, is that reality is thinking that we are poor and dreaming that we are wealthy, but in fact we are wealthy and we dream that we are poor. How many times do we have a negative thought during the day and we visualize it and we create a whole story around it? Well, you know what? You can do that the opposite way as well. And it is just a habit of thinking. We've worn this path down so much. We need to work the other path, and it feels illogical. This is what I said at the beginning when we were having a conversation, is just like, we've got to do the illogical because it feels awkward and clunky, but we've got to keep doing it so that this other path grows up, you know, and we can't walk it anymore. It's a negative path, so that we can have this path here for the positive. Okay, so literally we create everything. If you think about it, that everything that is unseen has been created, everything that is seen has been created from the unseen. Okay, do you get that? Let me say it again. Everything seen is created from the unseen. So you have a mobile phone, yeah? Somebody thought of it in their head, first of all. They developed a picture of it, and then they put it on paper, then they made it. This is what you do with your life. And this is, if you want to change anybody else's mind, you've got to give them an image with which to work with. Otherwise, you cannot change anybody's mind. That is one of the biggest things that, you know, that you can learn in here as well, that you need an image with which to work with, okay? So I'm going to give you an image of the mind, because normally whenever we have the thought of the mind, people think of the brain. And it's not the brain, because, you know, mind is in everything. And, you know, it's not even in this diagram here, but what this diagram here is to do is to actually bring order to your mind, so that when you're thinking of something, you can literally think of this diagram or draw it out. I'm constantly drawing it out before I do anything. If I'm meeting with somebody, I'm thinking, what do I want to be aligned with, before I'll actually go and how do I see them and how can I work with them? So I will do that. So the thing is that, you know, like, it's not your brain, because you're not your brain if you think about it, but you're aware of your body, aren't you? You know, your brain is physical matter, and this is physical matter, even though it's all energy, etc., etc. But you're aware of being in here. You're aware of this body, so you're not your body. Okay, but you have a mind that is aware of this. So what is mind? Yeah, it's everything. It's every cell in your body. Okay. And it's everywhere as well, but that's a whole other law, which I won't even bother going down there. So imagine that we split your mind into two here. So the top bit is the conscious mind, and that is where everything is, you know, that's the 2% with what you're working in. That's the knowledge gathering. You make decisions from here. You go, I like that, I like that, I like that, or don't like that, and you make a decision. You make a conscious decision. The second bit there is the subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind is really the emotional mind, where everything, you know, you get involved with anything. So as soon as you become emotionalized in an idea, that's when you're using your subconscious mind. Now, that will then dictate how your body reacts. Have you ever been in front of somebody and your conscious mind is saying one thing, but your whole body is saying something completely different? Well, you will then act on that. Okay, and that is the vibration that you get out. So if you do not get what you want in the outside world, you need to come back and look at your whole alignment as to, is everything in alignment? And again, that is the stuff that we actually take you through, all these different modules that will so you will understand how that works. So in the conscious mind, you know, we've got paradigms, we've got all those. In fact, the paradigms probably be more in your subconscious, because they're the things we don't even know are there. We've got viruses, we've got doubts, we've got insecurities. However they got in there, do you know what? It doesn't really matter. They're there. We do not need to go into the past and try and figure it all out. We actually just recognize that they were there. We identify them, but we do not identify with them. And then we literally deal with how we want to go. And that's what we want to do, is what is it you want? Stop thinking about, I can't have because, I'll do this when. No, what do you want? Make a decision and do it. Okay. What you've got to realize is that because we've got all that rubbish around us, We miss the fact they were absolute awesome beings inside. Now, when I heard this was so awesome because it wasn't about me trying to be better all the time. It was about me just stop talking all the crap to myself. Just stop it. Just literally let your goodness out. But we tell ourselves all these stories. You should do this. You're not worthy. You're not good enough. I should be doing better. And it's just suffocating the person inside. Is it any wonder, like we get dis-ease, because it's literally, we've told our bodies so many bad stories. And you think of those 50,000 new cells being created all the time, being told a bad story, you just create that illness inside you. And it's about literally changing that story to allow our greatness to come out and heal whatever is going on, whether it's physical, mental, whatever it is that's going on in our lives. We can actually heal it by allowing it. So the top bit is the thinking mind. I've said that before. And then you've got the emotional mind. So we literally think. So say this is where, and the one thing as well is to make sure you set goals, is about thinking about what is it I want in life, not what you think you can get. Hopefully we'll have time to come on to that, but literally, what do you want in life? The thing is, if you don't get emotionally involved in it, it's just like a passing thought. It's like a train, just literally passing through. If you do not get emotionally involved in it, you're okay. We tend to get emotionally involved in negative ideas though, don't we? We see something on the television, somebody wants to talk about Brexit, and it's just like we get all emotionally involved, and that goes into our paradigms, that goes into our body, that goes into our subconscious mind. Here's the thing, the subconscious mind is doing everything for us and going, oh, you want more of that? Great. I'll set up this vibration in the body and I'll attract more of that for you. Thank you very much. So it doesn't matter whether you're arguing about something in the outside world, you're the one feeling it. You're the one feeling it. It's nothing to do with the outside world because you're the one feeling it. So when you feel love, where do you feel it? You feel it here. When you feel criticism, you probably feel it more in your gut, actually. And there's a reason for that, because this is your power center. And when you criticize somebody and it feels all tight and horrible, remember that's you feeling all tight and horrible, not the other person. That's you. But this is our power center. I mean, what we just basically do when we criticize somebody, we hand over our power. Just like, here you go, have my power. I don't need it anymore. You're obviously bigger and better than me, to an external world. You are the lead player in your story. And so everybody else is a secondary character. But how many times do you give somebody else authority, or even a place or a circumstance authority over how you feel? Just something to think about. So we think it, we emotionalize it, causes a vibration, which actually affects our actions, what we'll do. Because sometimes we might not do stuff because we're actually a bit scared, even though our head up here is going, yes, 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 yes. But if our body's not, we'll find all the excuses in the world not to do something. And the action that we do will cause an exact reaction from the universe, okay? So say you don't like somebody and you're saying, well, you've got a miserable face. What do you think you're going to get back from them? Okay, and so this creates conditions, circumstances, and your environment, which is your results. You look at your whole life now and you think about how you organized your life and how things have happened in your life. And then you take a good look and be honest about how you were feeling. Did you have a complete disconnect? Because chances are you had, and maybe you didn't even realize it either. So can you see how we get the present results? So if we look at the results, so this is like our school sheet, so say you weren't very good at maths, okay, and you got a D. Well, then you go through the rest of your life telling yourself that you weren't good at maths. Now, that might have been when you were 15, 16. Like you're now, 66, and you're like, I'm not good at maths. Because back here, you got a D, okay? So we look at those, it's like the same as our bank account, as our sales sheet. We look at it and then we try to make decisions from there, but we're on a lower vibration. We're not going to see anything. We're just going to go round and round in circles, look at the present results, which causes our thinking, which causes our feeling, which causes our action, and we stay in the present results. What we've got to do is find a different thought. I cannot express this more than anything is you've got to find a different thought and come from a different place. So what we need is a new model, a new thought that comes in. So we stop that circle from being down here and we move the circle from being up here. Here's the thing, then this becomes our paradigm and we get stuck here. So we need to move it back up again and we need to go round and round here again. You've got to constantly look at your results and you don't like them, come into yourself and change everything. Absolutely, 100% change everything. Now, what we've got getting in the way is basically we've got this, the 5 senses, and they are just like passing information in, it's like a 5-lane highway coming into your head, passing in all this information. But here's the thing, your senses are only dealing with the effects. Remember that. Those 5 senses are dealing with the effects. Okay, so you're the cause. What we want to do is use your intuition and go, what do I want? You've got everything you need inside you. Whether you believe that or not, you've got everything inside you. It doesn't really matter if you do. I'm just telling you, you've got everything inside you that you actually need. And we need to shut off the senses so that you can come back to center and really understand who you are, what you want, and what you're going to do with your life. And this is the stuff that we work with. Absolutely. It can take a while, but some people do get it really, really well. So that's where the thinking into results keeps putting in new ideas, getting different results, new ideas, different results, new ideas, and different results. And that is what is absolutely unique about it. So let me just check the time. Oh, we're still on time. Oh, you can have another 25 minutes of me, girls. So this is really good. Remember that what you think in secret comes to pass. Environment is but our looking glass. So that summarizes everything there, is that you do not, thoughts are things, thought or energy, everything has been created from a thought. It started with a thought and an idea. We're never looking for money or more time, we're looking for an idea. Okay, everything that you think is past and is acted upon. That's quite scary, isn't it? When you think of some of your thoughts that you've had. I know because I've had them myself. I couldn't even take myself outside and go, you're not a nice person, because I wouldn't say it to anybody else, but my God, was I horrible to myself. So it's really, really understand that, if you do have a negative thought, you need to fill it in with a positive one. You need to neutralize it like that. I think of it as like a little Pac-Man thing coming along, shooting away all the negative ones, but because it was just driving me crazy. If you've ever heard Abraham Hicks, she's brilliant. And but it was just like, oh my God, I've had a negative thought. Suck it in. You can't suck it in. Once it's out, it's out. Okay. But if you've got emotionally involved in it, it's out. You need to find a higher emotional place to counteract that thought. Because here's the thing. Do you hate being poor, or do you hate debts more than you love the idea of wealth? Okay, because I imagine that it's this hate is what you have a higher vibration on. And this one is just, wouldn't it be lovely? What you need to do is swap that. Okay, so this then becomes your dominant vibration, and you need to really use all your energy and visualization to lift this energy higher and ignore this. Pass this over to the universe and just go, do you know what? I haven't been able to deal with that. So can you deal with it, please? And your job is to keep your energy high and focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. When we do work with Bob, Bob will never entertain the idea of talking to us. As far as he's concerned, we're talking in our paradigms. Yes, but, yes, but, yes, but. We've all got yes, but becauses. Okay, we've all got those stories. But here's the thing. If you keep talking about them, you will stay in them. So Bob does not allow that. He just goes, listen, you can just cut that now. I'm not even answering questions like that. He goes, what do you want? It's like slap. What do you want? Where's your focus? Because that's where you're taking yourself. So stop making excuses and do whatever it is that you want. Although if you want the excuses, you want your story. Some people love their story, and that's absolutely fine. They're going to stay in it because they're actually afraid to step out. Because it's like, well, if I don't have this story anymore, then, it's all up to me. And that scares people. And so they suck back in and prefer to have their story. And that's fine. I can't do anything with that. I can only work with people who have a desire to change something in their life. This stuff will change your absolute life. So I love this one, and I've got a whole story on this, but in the essence of time, I'll leave it for now. But imagination is the most marvelous, miraculously powerful force the world has ever known. Imagination really is the key. So here's the thing I want you to do whenever you leave this is I want you to set a goal, something that you're going after that you've never, ever done before. It's got to scare you. It's got to be so big. It's got to be illogical. It's got to be an absolute dream and an absolute vision. And I mean anything, not what you think you can get, but what you want, totally want. I mean, have you put how long have your dreams been on the shelf? And if you think for 1 minute that you can get your dreams by doing what you're doing now, if you could have, you would have done it by now. You won't get it. You'll look back in 5 years and go, well, I've grown a little bit, but I'm still not there yet. You know, I mean, my passion for doing this is I didn't want to rock into 65 and go, oh my goodness, why didn't I change something back then when I was 50? So it's just literally, you need to do something different if you want something really radical different. Otherwise, you just look at your parents' life and look at everybody who's around you, and that's exactly where you're going to be in 5 years' time. That scares you, do something. If it doesn't, crack on. So, you know, what we want is the fantasy, the absolute fantasy life. Now, I had, you know, something, and this is worth, you know, explaining to you that, you know, I set a fantasy for a house, and the house was 1.8 million. And, you know, I went to see it and I wanted it, but I had no idea how to get it. I mean, I resonated with this house in every single level that I could think of. This was my house. And I just thought, how am I going to get, you know, well, I didn't think, I just thought, well, that's it. I'm putting that on my vision board. And, you know, the thing was, you know, I knew I was able, but was I willing? And I thought, I am willing. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So I actually invested. This is the time when I invested in the Bob Proctor program to become. Actually, Bob Proctor is one of his consultants, and to work with the man directly himself, because I knew that just by doing a program, you know, I needed more. I had every theory going under the sun, and I needed more, and I needed to, you know, direct descendant from Bob, which is more or less what you get from me, because literally it goes Bob, me, and best I don't even think it's me talking. I think it's coming from Bob or somewhere else. And so, but when I'd made that decision, a week later, you know, Bob actually said something to me, and he used that term. He calculated this, and this, and he says, if you do this, you will have 1.8 million. Now, Bob did not know what my goal was. And he said the exact figure that it would take me to get to my house. I just absolutely, so immediately my fantasy went from fantasy to theory. And it's on its way to being a fact. So that's the sort of stuff that we're talking about here, is that, you know, once you start to concentrate on some, there's other things that have happened as well that are now, that have either become fact or on the way to be fact. So this is just absolutely awesome. You know, Steve Jobs said, you know, you can only connect the dots going back. So the thing is, if you connect the dots going forward, then you're only doing the same thing. Stop trying to connect the dots going forward. And this is where I'm going to explain why. So your A-type goal is something that you've got, you know, that you can get with your present results. So you've connected the dots going forward. That's great. You know you can do it. Like, is it any wonder if you don't reach it? Because you just go, oh, it was too tough. No, it wasn't too tough. It was boring. Like, you'd no desire. Where's the desire in that? You know, if we want ice to be steam or ether, we need some heat behind it. Yeah, it doesn't change what the water, you know, what it is, but it changes its vibration, doesn't it? It goes from ice, solid, then it goes to liquid, and then it goes to steam, and then it goes into the ether where we can't even see it. Okay, then it goes up into the clouds, and then it comes right back down as rain again, which it's doing right now in sunny Manchester. Not. So, you know, your A-type goals are stuff, basically you can do these goals every day. A-type goals, they're not goals. They're actually just things to get through every day to get you to your next set of goal. So the next one is where, you know, when you can make a bit of a plan. So this is what you think you can do. So yeah, oh, this is a bit of a stretch. I think I can get there. But you're still planning how to get there. Okay, so if you get bored or things take you out the way, then you may not even get there either, because again, you've got bored. There's not a big desire in there. That's just something that you think you can do. You're not really growing from there. What we're looking for is a C-type goal. What do you want? Okay, now the reason why we have a C-type goal is up there. It's like a big magnet that draws you. Now your C-type goal should be the vision of your life. the vision of how you want your life, and this is what creates the desire, and it's the desire that will override the paradigms. Listen to what I'm just saying here. The desire will override your paradigms, because the desire will get you out of bed in the morning. The desire will literally, if you think I can't be bothered, and you'll just say to yourself, well, okay, you can't have it anymore, and you know, my children don't get this, and my great grandchildren, you know, don't even have this, and that's fine. You know, at 65 you'll just have no money, and that's fine. And I go, oh my God, no way. That's it. My desire is my fuel, and if you took it away from me, I would fight tooth and nail for that. That's the only thing that's going to change my paradigms. So whenever I want you to remember that, because it's actually something that whenever you read, and I recommend that you read it, Think and Grow Rich, is that you're actually looking for the secret. And there's a secret the whole way through that book. And hopefully I've given you at least a start of what the secret is. So read that book, definitely. Bob's been reading it now for 60 years, so it's worth a go. So, you know, as George Shaw actually said, is that I don't believe in circumstance. The people that get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, they make them. So why are you sitting around going, well, if the universe wanted me to have it, I would have it? The universe can only do for you what it does through you. You need to sort your vibration out, you need to be in gratitude, and you need to act without doubt or worry. That's basically your day. That's me summarizing everything in one go. If you can do that and apply that every day, boom, you're going to get the results that you want. But the thing is, we tend to do it for a few days, and then it gets exhausting, and our paradigms come up and go, this is a load of nonsense, look, nothing's happening. But you're not seeing what's happening in the background, okay? There's something amazing going on. And there is another law, the law of gestation, which basically means is that, you know, things have to have time to grow. And, you know, like a cloud cannot rain until it is full, so that it overflows. That's the same with your ideas in your body. You have to be full of the idea in your body, then it will overflow. That's when the manifestation starts to happen, okay? So when you're setting your goals, so here's really key information here. We think on frequencies. Just like if you wanted to contact me on my phone, you would need to reach the frequency of my phone. If I wanted to tune into Radio 1 on the on the radio, then I would have to tune into the frequency. I didn't have to go and get Radio 1, did I? I didn't have to go and get the information. I just tuned the box in. Okay, do we do that anymore? I don't know. I don't even listen to radio, but we tune it in, or we just press buttons, but we tune it in. Okay, remember that. We didn't have to go and get the information. We just tuned the box in. That's what our bodies are. Okay, so we're thinking along the lines here, and we have our results along these lines. Okay, so this is where our results are, and this is the frequency that we're on. And if you think you're happy here, even though you're in a prison and you can't escape a prison unless you know you're in one, then you will just keep getting the results based along that frequency, and the universe will keep delivering the results on that frequency. So it's like being in the Shard, you know, in London, and you're on the ground floor and everything's happening on the ground floor. You're completely unaware of what's going on the 36th floor, whatever the top floor is, because you can't see it. And you've no idea it's even there, that it even exists. Okay, because you're on the ground floor here. Then we set our goal. Now I get you to think about it and really desire it over a 2-week period, because over the 6-month period, you know, the modules that we teach, you spend 2 weeks on your goal. You really get this ingrained in your body, because this is what's going to drive your results. And you see your goal, somebody takes you to the top floor of the Shard, and you go, oh my God, that is brilliant. This is what I want, okay? And you make a decision. Well, you think you make a decision, and you know, this is what I want to do. Yes, definitely, this is what I want to do. But then what we do is we actually go back downstairs and we work from the ground floor. We look at our current results and we try to see, but we can't see. It's like, draw the picture from the top of the Shard. Draw everything. You can't see it because you're on the ground level. So you're trying to faff around with everything on the ground level, because you're not even in the awareness of what you are and what you want. What you need is literally a paradigm shift. Because to get from your goal here, to get from your results here to your goal here, we need a shift in thinking, and a shift that keeps you up here. permanently. This isn't something where people get results and they go up and down and up and down. That's a whole other story. I haven't got time to go into it now as to why that happens. But there's none of that nonsense. When you paradigm shift, you change your results forever. Let me say that again, forever. It is a complete and permanent change. Okay? Again, it doesn't matter if you believe me or not, but this is what happens. There is too much evidence to show that this works when you do this work. And here's the thing, if you could do it on your own, you'd have done it by now. There would be no need for people like me. There'd be no need for Bob, because everybody could just read a book. I mean, I'd read 500 books, got all the qualifications, been to all the shows, and I've done all the programs, and where were the results? Because I was thinking from my results, literally in the bottom of the pit, trying to see what was at the top. You need to make a committed decision to get to your goal. So this is nothing to do with me. This is as being a mentor to you. This is nothing to do with Bob's program. This is you making a committed decision to your goal that are no excuses, no back door, no escape route. I am getting that goal. End of story. It is done. You've done it before with something else in your life where you made a decision and you got what you wanted. This is exactly what you need to do here. A committed decision isn't, well, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter, or blaming somebody else for something not working out. It is you. Everything is you. Not Brexit, not the government, not Sally next door. You. If you do not make a committed decision, you can blame everybody else in the world, but when you make a committed decision, you know it's you, and the results stop and end with you. Okay, so this is where you can change. Instead of your present results, what you do is you look at where it is that you want to go, which will then cause new thoughts, which will cause new feelings, which will cause new actions, which will cause different results. And here's the thing, we're also impatient. We think it's going to happen tomorrow because I did it today. No, it's not. Okay, you're replacing cells. You know, there's an 11 months that we're actually period where you actually change the cells, but we can start to see some really great happenings. I've got some results of people who literally within 6 weeks of doing this program and, doing this intensively every morning and every evening, reprogramming and doing the work and doing some webinars with myself, have actually taken himself from $100K contract to $1 million contract, literally landing on his door within 6 weeks. I mean, that's just phenomenal results. There's plenty more things that are there. So just to let you know, when you start to change your ideas, when you literally start to put a new idea in, so you've got the bondage here where you're literally, thinking, you have X type thoughts, X type feelings, X type actions, so you get X type results. Big deal. That's life. So then you put a new idea in. And if you don't get emotionally involved with it, that's fine. The X type still stays in your paradigm. You get X type results, but you've got this grand vision. It's like dreaming without taking any action. And, everything actually just stays the same. But if you start to emotionalize, okay, you start to emotionalize the why idea, what happens is that there's a big fight going on. And I've seen this happen, and you get worry, fear, anxiety, and all it is a chemical reaction, and it's literally you're having a fight with your subconscious, your paradigm, and all those cells, and you're putting new cells in. It's going, no, this is how it is, this is how it is, this is how it is. But if you keep talking, you hit the terror barrier, and you suck right back. Absolutely suck right back. It's going to happen. It literally is going to happen. What you've got to do is you've got to keep going with the why idea. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. You ignore your senses, and you come across through the terror barrier where the why idea is now accepted, and it becomes basically, that's why it's permanent, because you've actually killed those paradigms for that level. But here's the thing, then the why idea becomes your paradigm. But that's the idea of growing, and that's the idea where we have desire, absolutely burning desire in ourselves to grow and to actually serve other people is one of the big things. So, fear stops a lot of people. I heard Michael Beckwith, he's absolutely brilliant. Bob's had him on stage as well at Paradigm and Matrix. And where you've got, You know, we tend to live in the future tense, or we tend to live in the past tense. And here's the thing, if you're living in those tenses, you're actually two tense. Isn't that so funny? I love that. I just absolutely love that when I heard that. So let me say it again. If you live in the future tense and the past tense, which we all tend to do, you're two tense. We do not want tense, okay? We only have now. We only have now. If you wait 2 months to do something, you keep putting something off. Oh, I'll do it in 2 months. I'll do it in 6 months. I'll do it next year. You're always playing catch up. Always playing catch up. And, you know, procrastination, it just literally, fear masks itself as procrastination, or, you know, I'll do it when. So I've said to you before, you know, make excuses or get results. It is absolutely your choice. But now is the only time that we've actually got something. So, oh, actually, there you go. I love that from Einstein. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we use to create them. That's exactly it. Results always tell the truth. So I said that I was going to make a fantastic offer at the end of this webinar. And here's the thing. So this program, I told you, it's £6,000 for 6 months. And if anybody wants to have a talk with me, I'm not going to sell the program right here, right now. I'm going to talk about the program just to give an overview. But it's 60 years worth of Bob Proctor's evidence. And it's a weekly webinar with me and a weekly one-on-one with me as well, to teach you even more stuff that we get direct from Bob and to pass that information on. There are 12 modules in it that will change your life. It is not about gathering knowledge. It is about drawing the wisdom from without you, from within you, should I say, to without. And here's the fantastic offer. Like, you won't believe this. I can't even believe I'm actually saying this, but it is $3,500 for the next 24 hours. Okay, so I'm not asking you to do anything right now, because you can either come in a one-to-one with me, and if you do the one-to-one, then literally, and you make your decision. I just share the information. I'm not pushing anybody for anything, because this is your life. I'm cracking on, and I can only work with the people who want to be worked with and who have a desire to actually change something in their life. I'm hoping that the information that you have right here, right now, if you apply it, and if you were to listen to me every day, could actually make that change. But as Bob says, you know, we can't do it on our own, and we all need a mentor. And that was a big lesson that I'd learned as well. So with that said, I know that there's some people on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording here, and then yeah, we can just literally, oh, if I can figure out how to stop the recording. So that's basically Sheena Kantar. And yeah, let's have a chat, you know, have a one-to-one with me anyway, regardless, you know, it's just a bit of fun. Let's have a chat about where you are in life and everything. And let's just see, you know, if there's anything I can help you with on a call. It's a free call, you know, 30 minutes. And let's just see what we can dig out from yourself, and how I can actually help you and provide even more value. So that's free. So anyway, I'm going to stop recording, and I will see you all again another time. For everybody who's on the webinar, if you just stay on, I will speak to you now. Okay, bye.